Is cussing actually a sin? Not really. And if you're angry with me, but you use words like frick, dang, shoot, or heck, I would say that you're being a bit hypocritical. If you're saying cuss words are sin, but the words that communicate identical things to them are not, I'm just confused. From a biblical perspective, language prohibitions are about malice, impurity, and deceit, not specific vocabulary. Now you might be saying, see, cussing is corrupting talk, this proves it. But these are all about tone, motive, and relational impact, not the specific words. And you might even be condemning Paul. Paul himself in Philippians 3:8 says that he considers everything skubala, to knowing Christ. That word is strong, and it's essentially saying that I consider it all compared to knowing Christ. It intentionally had shock value, and Paul uses it in the literal Bible. The Bible itself condemns three kinds of language: aiskarlogia, which is speech that dishonors God or people; blasphemia, which is slandering God or sacred things; and loidoria, which is abusive insults. But again, none of these are specific words, they are expressed intentions behind the words. And before you quote all the passages that prohibit cursing, cussing is not the same as cursing. In Old English it was abbreviated like this, but modern toe-stubbing expletives are not cursing people to hell. Now, pastoral caution here, even if it's not directly sin, I'm still saying that it can be unwise, and it doesn't even mean that it's a good thing. And the reason I say all this in the first place is because I've sat with brand new believers in small groups describe their passionate and intimate love for Jesus, and guess what? They use a few expletives. Meanwhile, the Christian moms in the corner are passive-aggressively tearing them apart with demeaning insults cloaked in politeness like, oh, bless their heart. One has strong words but a sincere faith, and the other one hides malice behind nice words and politeness. I'm not trying to be edgy or dismissive, I just want Christians to raise the bar on what it means to give life-giving speech, and also raise our grace for people coming from contexts where cussing is normative and accepted.
All right, this guy's actually onto a good concept that I kind of like. I don't totally agree with it. You know, it really comes from the words of Jesus when he says, out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. And it really is very possible to be gossipy, dismissive, difficult without ever using curse words, and still the overflow of your heart is junky. It's awful. It's sewage that's coming out of your heart. It's also possible for cuss words to be the sewage that comes out of your heart as well. For the Bible, for what the Bible has to say, it does not name cuss words that are prohibited for us to be able to say. Partly because it's written in a totally different language, and so our cuss words wouldn't be included in there. The whole idea is that we should have purity of speech that overflows from a purity of heart that overflows from having a heart for God and Jesus living inside of you. It really should be the kind of thing that as you mature in Christ, that your language should become more reflective of the kind of way that Jesus would speak to people. And you just have to ask yourself the question, could I imagine Jesus using this kind of language in the people that he's talking to? And if that's something that's a struggle for you, ask God to give you the power to be able to change the things that you say. I think it's not a matter of being legalistic about which words are in or out, because there can be very normal dictionary words or even made up words that get used to hurt other people. That's the key question that you're asking in the midst of this, is how are your words being used? Not necessarily what's the exact thing that you're dictating that's coming out of your mouth.